Motion activated my ass.
Through the snow in one horse open sleigh, toward the fields we go, laughing all the way. Giddy up now, bells on bobtail ring, Lincoln's fair and bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Ride 'em, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one horse open sleigh. Get along now, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one horse open sleigh. Yeah!
And welcome to the Oddity Archive, the show where all that crap you tried to re-gift comes right back at you like a boomerang. And in case I haven't been just blatantly obvious enough thus far, it's Christmas. Again. Seriously, it seems like I just finished the last Christmas episode. Anyway, a little behind the scenes tidbit here. All year round, I look for seasonal archivisms, especially Christmas ones. But unlike in years past, where I found enough of a like subject that I've been able to build an episode out of it, it just didn't quite happen this year. So it doesn't mean that I didn't find some Christmas archivisms, it's just that there isn't really much of a thread between all of them. So anyway, let's get started by addressing the 800-pound gorilla, or should I say, bass, in the room. Nope, this was not one of my little jokes there in the intro. This is really a thing. The Christmas Big Mouth Billy Bass. And I actually wanted to try and hack that thing and try and get it to play some better Christmas tunes, but frankly, I'm just not that good. So instead, I guess we're all just going to have to settle for a mini Ben's junk on that stupid thing. So let's get started. No, I did not pay the full $3.99 for this. I'm not quite that crazy. Now, believe it or not, to my absolute shock and horror, not only are these things still being made, but they now have a 6-foot inflatable Christmas Big Mouth Billy Bass. Thankfully, I do not have one of these, and I don't want one, so please don't send me one. Anyway, this is one of the original circa 2000 Christmas Billy Basses. It sings snippets of a whopping 2 songs, and the head no longer moves. So let's take a cut here and we'll take a look at Billy in all his truly devastating glory. Before I begin our little demo, I just wanted to share my utter disgust at the original owner for not getting the custom engraved nameplate for their Big Mouth Billy Bass. I mean, really, they didn't even bother to capitalize the M. How can you not love that? Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, this thing doesn't quite perform at 100%. The head is supposed to swing out and look at you as he's singing. It doesn't. And I've actually taken this apart and looked at it, and the soldering's all good, and the wires don't have anything wrong with them as far as I can tell. But my guess is a bad wire, or worse yet, the circuit board is starting to go. So this may very well be the last ride of this Big Mouth Billy Bass. So good thing I'm capturing it for posterity.
Through the snow in one horse open sleigh, toward the fields we go, laughing all the way. Giddy up now, bells on bobtail ring.
But you already heard this in the intro, so let's just jump to his other big hit.
Yeehaw! Up on the housetop, reindeer falls, out them good old Santa Claus. Down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for the little one's Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who would go? Ho, 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 who would go? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with good sleigh Nick.
Bastard. And with that bit of contractually obligated, in some way I have yet to figure out, bit of annoyance behind us, let's move on to the more traditional Christmas archivisms. So first up, we've got a videotape from a company that's at this point better remembered for their franchise tie-in record albums. Tie-ins to stuff like the Care Bears and Garfield and Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids and that sort of stuff. I'm talking about Kid Stuff. You remember Kid Stuff, right?
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down.
Anyway, in the mid-'80s, Kid Stuff branched out into, as I implied, videotapes. And these tapes are actually a lot closer in spirit to the original line of cheapy, kiddie, record albums that they were putting out in the 70s. And these tapes are very generic and very slideshow-driven, very repetitive ones at that. So no full animation or anything like that here. But here is the tape. Christmas Favorites from 1985. And I've noticed that Kid Stuff had a little bit of trouble with their box design. No, nobody ripped this off. This was never a fully closing box to begin with. Anyway, this is from a series of not really interactive, pseudo-educational tapes that they were putting out. And the series was called, it varied. This is from the See and Sing bit of the series, but it was also stuff like See and Read. It just depended on what the tape was about. But what sets the See and Sing tapes apart from their contemporaries, just in general, is the presence of the most unbelievably perky hostess you have ever seen, complete with a voice just tailor-made for toy doll commercials. So, let's take a look.
Is it cold and snowy where you live?
Some 80s TV stars binged on cocaine. Cindy Williams binged on
Or
helium.
cold, depending on where you are. But some things are always the same. The fun of shopping for gifts to surprise your friends and family.
Personally, I'm getting everyone a rattlesnake this year.
And waiting for Christmas morning to finally arrive.
While stranded at the airport.
Hi, I'm Ruth.
Hi, Ruth.
Your host for See and Sing Children's Music Video.
What, no fanfare?
Everyone knows that singing is one of the nicest ways to share the holiday spirit.
Passing the bottle's easier, though.
Put together a terrific group of Christmas songs, especially for you.
Well, except you, Benny boy.
Following the white ball as it bounces over the word of the song.
Wait, you mean the bouncing ball is real? Mind blown.
You can sing along with some of your Christmas favorites.
Sweet, you mean Christmas Card from a Hooker in Minneapolis is on here?
Here with the red nose. Do you know his name?
Yeah, Tom Waits.
That's right, Rudolph.
Great, another knockoff.
Frosty the Snowman will stop by for a visit too. But none of this fun can happen unless each one of you is singing.
I have a hairdryer, and I'm not afraid to use it on Frosty.
Not all Christmas songs get to be top 40 hits.
And rightly so.
In the 1950s, when rock and roll was still young, and you probably weren't born,
I have always been here.
might have been dancing to this rocker. Here we go with Jingle Bell Rock.
Not available in Nebraska. Nothing personal, just saying.
Jingle bell rock. Jingle bell.
For reasons still unknown, Santa demanded that his reindeer start a hybrid psychobilly/ska group that year.
Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime in jingle bell time.
Which does not observe daylight savings.
In the frosty air, what a bright time.
Looks like Santa's workshop is getting ransacked.
The night away. Jingle bell time, it's a swell time.
Yikes. Eat your heart out, Kids Bop.
Horse sleigh, giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet.
You know, I've always wanted to ride a cross-eyed horse. I don't know why, I just do.
When the jingling beats, that's the Jingle Bell Rock.
For reasons still unknown, Santa demanded that his reindeer start a hybrid psychobilly/ska group that year. Hey, if they can recycle slides, I can recycle jokes.
The fun, now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell,
Okay, I admit I'm not a fan of these follow the bouncing ball things, but not because I think they're a bad idea, it's just that they never seem to be accurate, so, let me try and work in time to the bouncing ball and not the music, and I think you'll see what I mean. To rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go gliding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle in the jingling beat. That's the jingle bell. That's the jingle bell. That's the jingle bell rock.
Hey, you did that pretty well. But some of you weren't singing.
I was proving a point.
Don't think I can't tell.
Oh, bite me, 1985 lady.
We're the home of Redman Weir. Season's greetings, season's savings for you. Just look. Rent to own our December special 25-inch color TV console at $10.95 per week. Then you can match rent a recliner too, both for only $14.95 per week, or match rent a microwave oven for a total of only $15.95 per week. Choose a stereo system and rent both for only $16.95 per week.
To own everything for the home. Bring it on home. Bring it home, Mr. Steve.
Holiday greetings from Mr. Steve's.
And on we merrily roll. So, I know I just did a full episode on Pickwick Records just in the last few months, but I just gotta taunt you with some more of their, specifically, knockoff output. So, I've got 2 albums to discuss from them, and this first one is actually the first one I've ever discussed to come from their Design imprint. And we only very briefly discussed Design in that episode. And if you've ever read any of those lame, worst/weirdest Christmas albums of all time internet articles, you've probably seen the cover to this first one. And I know you've at least partially seen the cover to this first one, because that's what I used for my box today. I'm talking about All I Want for Christmas Is My 2 Front Teeth, and festive favorites for children.
And he whistled and he shouted and he called them by name.
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Dunder and Blixen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all.
And then in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof.
I can't imagine why I'd be the first to ever discuss this album. Now, I have not been able to find any information on this record at all. There's no information on the sleeve, on the disc. I've been on the internet looking for information about it. I've come up completely empty-handed. Now, the Design imprint's heyday was basically the latter half of the 1960s, so I'm just going to put this right in the middle and call it circa 1967, but that's really about all I've got for this one information-wise. Now, as for the title track, because I know you're just dying to hear it, I think I can honestly say that this is one of the absolute worst so-called sound-alike recordings that I have ever heard. Now, admittedly, I've never really been that much into the original Spike Jonze version. I mean, I don't hate it or anything, it's just indifference. It's just there. But after hearing this version, I've actually come to really genuinely like the original version. And it's because everything makes sense in the Spike Jonze version. The reason why the kid is missing his 2 front teeth is set up at the beginning of the song. The kid singing it sounds despondent over his situation. And of course, the whole joke of it is now he whistles everything. And of course, musically, Jones and his orchestra just nailed it. Now, as for this version, they failed on every conceivable count. They didn't even bother with the opening narrative. And, well, just take a listen. I think you're really going to like this polka band on Downers.
All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth. My two front teeth. See my two front teeth? Gee, if I could only have my two front teeth, then I could wish you Merry Gosh, oh gee, how happy I'd be if I could only whistle. Shh, gee, if I could only have my two front teeth, then I could wish you Merry Christmas.
As far as the rest of the album is concerned, it's a bumpy ride. Now, to me, the most notable thing about the rest of the record is the entire middle section of side 1 is devoted to a series of songs from some just downright evil-sounding Alvin and the Chipmunks knockoffs, and they're only accompanied by an electric organ, the kind that they used to play in funeral homes.
Brown young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heaven. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature, heaven and nature, heaven and nature, heaven and nature, heaven and nature. Hey, why don't we brighten things up a bit with Deck the Halls? Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la.
Our other Pickwick album is one from their not very widely used here in America Mr. Pickwick imprint, their kids' imprint. And the album is Fun Sounds of Christmas from 1974. And this album is credited to one Wade Denning, and that name might not be very familiar, but this guy was responsible for a lot of really classic children's records, including some of the really prime 60s and 70s golden records stuff. Now, only side 2 of this album actually has songs on it, and of the stuff on side 2, at least 2 of the cuts come from other previous Pickwick releases. And indeed, there's All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth on here, from the last album, the exact same version. Now, as for Mr. Denning's presumptive musical contributions to this thing, the standouts to me are a pair of synth-driven and slightly woozy-sounding instrumentals. Side 1 of this album is devoted to a series of soundscapes, and occasionally this works pretty well. And my favorite moment is one just kind of quietly tucked away towards the end of the side, which it seems to be a recording of a church choir taken outside of a church during their performance, and of course you get all the associated outdoor noise, and it's surprisingly effective. But more often than not, it's just pure nightmare fuel. And the helium-sucking, glue-sniffing narrator Elf and all his overdubbed clones do not help matters at all.
Christmas bells are nice. There are so many different sounds. Sleigh bells, bells on the Christmas tree, tricycle and bike bells, and even Santa has a bell. And then there are the church bells, too. Most of the year, I live at the North Pole with a lot of other elves. Every night, at the stroke of 12, we go to work in Santa's workshop. We have a lot of fun making toys for good girls and boys.
Well, that's just about it for this year's obligatory Christmas special, but I have one more item that I just briefly want to discuss here, and I'll play a bit of it for you over the end credits. Consider this your Christmas bonus. Now, I found this CD in the thrift store bin over the course of the year, and yeah, it's your standard fare homebrew self-release sort of thing. Complete with awkward, unflattering family portrait. Our singer is the rather unhappy-looking gentleman standing just to the right of the girl in white in the center. And the songs on here are just all the overdone usual suspects. Let me show this to you. It's everything you'd kind of expect to hear. And about half the tracks, I can't confirm it, but I think about half the tracks on here are actually, the music beds are from existing karaoke tracks. And of course, just with this guy's new vocal on it. His very awkward, slightly woozy, and very, very lounge singery vocals. So, with that in mind, let me leave you with a bit of my new favorite rendition of Feliz Navidad. Merry Christmas, season's greetings, and all that great stuff. I'll see you again soon.
Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
snow. I better go. My reindeer are double parked.